Hi there, and welcome back to Music Makers. Tonight is a very special episode where we're going to mark what should have been the week of the Ballina Salmon Festival. We're going to feature Billow Wood, who are Ballina's shining light, I suppose, on the world music stage. And I'm delighted also to be joined this evening by Mags Downey from the Ballina Salmon Festival, just to talk about the festival and plans going forward. So sit back and enjoy. You're welcome piano side in our lovely theatre here, albeit an empty one. I suppose the first thing I want to say to you is it's hard to believe it's a full year since we were back here celebrating in a different way the music and musicians of Ballina.
Yeah, and it was a brilliant night that we had. It was a fireworks night, which would have been the traditional biggest night of the Ballina Salmon Festival, and we played for 4 hours and played live music and had a wonderful array of really musical talent from North Mayo and around the county actually.
It was,
yeah. Yeah, it was wonderful. And of course 1 year later we're still doing something different, but we're doing it online and we're still celebrating the great musicians of North Mayo, which is Billow Wood.
Yeah, fantastic band, and I got a real treat. I actually got to perform one of the songs with the band as well, which you'll see later on. They're just such fantastic musicians and such wonderful people. So I'm really happy that you've asked us on board here with our Music Makers show as well to kind of to mark the night that's in it.
Well,
tonight should have been the fireworks.
It's our pleasure to do that because any young musician, whether you're a traditional musician or a rock musician, any type of music, everybody out there will have cut their teeth at some stage at the Ballina Salmon Festival. So whether it would be a Heritage Day, impromptu busk, or a Saturday night session out on the streets, and Billow Wood, or formerly known as Flat Out, would have definitely done it. And again, we are having busking in Ballina all this week as well, paying homage to the musicians of Ballina and North Mayo. Great. So it's a lovely celebration, but it's even nicer that it's Billow Wood because they're great friends and partners of the Ballina Salmon Festival and many of the other festivals that we do in Ballina as well. They're great musicians and they're great ambassadors for the town and for the young people out there who want to be, who will see this as an opportunity. If they can do it, we can do it as well. Absolutely,
yeah. They're definitely an inspiration and a group to aspire to for the younger groups that say come through. I just want to touch, I suppose, on the Salmon Festival for a minute, because obviously a year later it's been hard going. There are signs of things beginning to open up a little bit, but just not in time, unfortunately, for this July.
And you will know yourself, Brendan, for being involved with the festival, you don't do it in a couple of weeks. So we would have started the process. We had thought we would be okay for 2021 in January, and really that was just pre the big lockdown, the big last lockdown. And at that stage, we just had to really be honest with ourselves and say it's just not possible to do it in the traditional fashion that we're used to. We bring 200,000 people into the town and into the region of North Mayo with the spend a revenue of €2 million into the economy of the town. And that's why it is such a special festival, because it gives so much back to the business community and the community at large. So it is such a special festival. This year, I think, would have been our 56th year of it been in operation. So it's poignant that we can't go ahead, but it certainly inspires us to go ahead for 2022.
Good. And I mean, everybody can't wait for that, myself especially. I'm just wondering, for anybody out there that might be watching that might now have the itch to get involved as a volunteer who hasn't been involved before.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us how
Yeah,
you
well,
go
we
about that.
we always encourage locals and anybody from out there who has any type of skill or just wants to get involved, make new friends, give back to their community, put the high vis on. You can come on and just be a steward, which is in itself a big commitment, a big giving back to your town and community. Or if there's other things you want to be involved with, if you want to do the marketing, social media, be help out on any of the techs and the rigs, there's loads of opportunities for anybody. We never turn anybody away, and it is one big happy family.
Yeah, and I think we'll make the point too, being music makers, that there's great opportunities for musicians throughout the festival as well. So hopefully for 2022, the music programme will be as big as ever and as bold and as loud as ever.
And you know that we have an even bigger celebration coming up in Ballina 2023. So music will play a massive part of that, of the itinerary. That's a 1 year long event celebration. So Ballina Salmon Festival will very much be one of the signature events of that. And as part of that, music will be the biggest part of the celebrations for Ballina, because Ballina is known not just throughout the country, the county, the country, but on a worldwide level, how much talent is in one small town of a population of 11,000 people. It's phenomenal how much musical kind of talent is out there.
That is, and we've discovered an awful lot of it. I suppose Paul here behind the camera as well, he's been lucky, and Sean here at the Arts Centre, we've got to see some of the best. You know, I mean, the nicest people, but just the best musicians
and such talent,
great writers.
And such passion. And what I loved about the programme was unique music. You know, it's their own pen-written music. It's their own twist on their own type of music, no more than the music that you like to listen to and write as well,
we're proud of our original stuff here. I suppose North Mayo, it's an inspiring, an inspirational place to live, and that's what we've got from a lot of the acts that we've spoken to. So I suppose looking forward then, Mags, you know, in terms of how the town is going to present itself over these next 2 years for this 2023 celebration. How big a deal is it? I think I know how big a deal it is because I'm kind of involved in the background, but I'd like you to get that message across to people what we're doing here.
It's a big deal. We know that Ballina is older than 300 years. I've been told many times. I mean, we have the Cage of Fields, which is older than the pyramids, 6,000 years. So we know that Ballina is an old heritage town. But for the formal establishment of the town, it's 300 years. But we know it's a lot older. So it gives us an excuse to really have one big, long, year-long party.
Yeah, I think
celebrate
that's okay with
what is the great and wonderful about Ballina, what we love, the unique humour of the town, the unique characters of the town. Celebrate its amazing sons and daughters who've made big marks on the world, and we know plenty of those who come or originate from Ballina, from North Mayo.
Yeah, there's one or two names in my head here now.
And maybe they might come by to join in the party because they will be invited. So it's one long year to celebrate how wonderful our town and our community is, giving everybody an opportunity to be involved, exclusive to all, inclusive to all, I should say. Again, we encourage anybody who wants to get involved with that to get in touch with either through the Ballina Chamber of Commerce or Mayo North Tourism. Get in touch with us because we want everybody to be on board for that.
Brilliant.
And again, as we say, music and culture and the arts will be a big part of that.
Yeah, well, Mags, well done to you and all the people that you're working with, all the volunteer associations, the chamber, everybody that is on board here. Really looking forward to see how these next 2 years play out and what the final product is going to look like. Okay, Mags, so to finish up, I have a standard music makers question that I ask all our musical guests, so I don't think you should be any exception to that. If there was one song in the world that you wish you could have written, what would it be and why?
That's a tough question, Brendan, and thanks for asking me and putting me on the spot there. Again, it's like deciding on what's your favourite pet or your favourite child. Yeah. But I think, I think U2's one.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I love the lyrics. I love the tune. It's probably one of the first songs I ever learned to play the guitar and play it and sing along to it. So yeah, it's a very special song.
Okay, I didn't know you played the guitar.
Many years ago.
We have our next series first guest sorted out there.
You wouldn't be that desperate.
Okay, well look at, as I said to the folks at home at the start, let's just kind of sit back now and enjoy what's going to come on here now for the next 40 minutes or so. A wonderful band, wonderful people, fantastic musicians. They give me hope for the world. So over to Billow Wood. Okay, so we're piano side here at Ballina Arts Centre. I'm absolutely wrecked just from watching what I've just seen there from Billow Wood. What an energetic and beautiful performance. So firstly, guys, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
It's been an interesting journey that you guys have taken, really, from your early days as Flat Out and starting as, young musicians.
Yeah.
probably without a plan, to turning into what I'm calling a supergroup here.
Yeah.
Harry, how did you bring them along with you? Like?
It's all me, Brendan.
Tell us, Harry.
I've been paying me back from carrying them all these years. So it's about 8 years ago now we kind of started playing together, and it was Mark who kind of gave us the call initially to go over to Austria, play music for Paddy's Day. Just, you know, Paddy's Day yourself, grab a few musicians together, get them playing, and we started playing together and worked, and more gigs, started playing a few pub gigs as flat out, and that's how we kind of became known around Ballina. And then a couple of years ago then made that decision to transition completely into the original stuff and doing the festival circuit, because it was kind of hard to balance both. So we're all the time at Billow Wood now, which we're very fortunate to do so, and creating our own original music, and some of which will be appearing on this show.
Yeah, and it's fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
So Bridge, the Bowfield Cayley Band would have been a launching pad as well, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we're all members of the Bowfield Cayley Band. We are all taught by Peter Neary. So we're very fortunate to have had him as a teacher, and he instilled an awful lot of, I suppose, craziness in us as well.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, and we all love trad, and it's such a community aspect, I think, in Gertnamo that you mightn't find in other Cultus groups.
Yeah.
I think he focused an awful lot on like the music itself rather than the competitions, and that's something that definitely we, you know, when we're performing, we like to engage with the audience an awful lot, and you know, see how they're feeling afterwards by chatting to them. So yeah, we all would have grown up playing with Bowfield and going to the Flaws and the Feshes and all of that throughout the summers.
Yeah, great stuff.
So it was a great experience growing up. Yeah.
So Ciara, how many instruments do you play?
All
of them, is it?
Well, if I started counting the whistles and the amount of whistles I have, it'll be a long number. I play whistles, flute, baron and piano as well, which helps with the songwriting.
So Ciara, that song that you started with tonight, Old Friend, can you tell me a little bit about what the story is behind that?
Yeah, so it came from a past relationship, I suppose, and not having that friendship still there, and missing that love or that friendship with a person, and kind of mournfully regretting some issues in relation to it. And it just came, when I wrote that song, it came actually in an instant. It was just in one session beside the piano, and I got the whole song in one, and it was just kind of just came. So
sometimes it does flow out of you, doesn't it? You know, when you're writing.
From me, and a lot of my song would be emotional driven, or not so much from, you know, logic, but just more so from emotion, and that one just came.
Experiential kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's what's happened or what's happening. Yeah,
Exactly.
Fantastic. So Mark, then the instrumental piece that we heard, Black River.
Yes.
Are you responsible for that?
For two parts of it.
Okay.
So it's broken up into 3 individual tunes to come together to make the Black River. And the Black River is the river that's outside mine and Ciara's house. And Ciara's brother's farm is called Black River Farm. Yeah. So that's what the set came from. And the first tune we wrote after Shamie Mulhern passed away. He was in Australia and he had an accident. And shortly after that we wrote the tune. And the third tune is a tune that's inspired by Zoe Conway, who's a great fiddle player. And the middle tune is a tune called The Price of My Pig, and it's actually a really old tune. We had to look to see how old it was, so we could use it and not be copyrighted. And it's actually really old, so it was a song, I think, first, so The Price of My Pig. And just to show how crazy Peter Neary was, I think he taught us the tune, but also called it The Sheep That Ate the Dog's Head, which we have been calling it for years.
You'd remember that.
And also, like, we used to be, like, announcing it on gigs and stuff, like, now we're going to play The Sheep That Ate the Dog's Head. And somebody came up to us after, like, that's really not the name of that tune. That tune is called The Price of My Pig.
He said it for the crack.
Yeah, he said it for the crack. Yeah, he's like, on the day, he was like, I couldn't remember what the name it was, so I just told you this is what it was.
Sounds like something Harry would do.
No.
Harry, myself and yourself did a bit of work recently
We did,
in
surely. Looking forward to
garage
it.
recording. It's
Yeah.
it's not too far away.
No.
You've really developed an interest in the whole engineering side of things, haven't you? And the
Well,
technical.
it's something that we kind of, it all came from, I had a pedal ordered before lockdown and they didn't have it. They gave me the money back, so I decided to buy an interface then because lockdown came. So myself and Mark have both got into the home recording side of things and the production, and there's a lot in it, but it's a very interesting aspect to it. Now, there are no world beaters at it, but we've definitely got into it, and some of our most recent tracks that we released through lockdown, Coldest Water, All the Ways You Wander, and we're working on another one now at the minute, and they're going to be, initially the recording is going to be done by ourselves, and then a bit of post-production after. We're going to work with different producers and stuff, but yeah, it's definitely something we'd be interested. We were always kind of interested in sound anyway, but it takes a lot, so we had that time over lockdown to
It kind of came from
invest.
lockdown as well.
oh no, that's
As
what I'm
a
saying, like, yeah.
necessity, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you had the time to do it, and now you have it, because like we're in the music industry. We've been playing, like, but there's 13 to 15, 16-year-olds on YouTube playing with interfaces for the last 5 years. Like, so you have to keep up with
You're
them.
catching
the young
up to
ones,
them,
like,
yeah. Well, just on that, like, because obviously we're here to talk with music makers, but something that's really impressed me, and I think it's impressed everyone that's seen it, has been the way that you've developed on the visual side as well. I suppose, Ciara, the video in Gortner Abbey, that's
For All
the
the
John
Ways You Wander.
Spillane song,
Yeah.
yeah? Whose idea was that?
Mine, so this time last year my mother passed away, and at that time I was singing the song a lot. I was in the background, and it's a song, it's quite an emotional song, thinking about who you miss and those dear to you. And I remember then singing it later on throughout the year, and it was coming up to Christmas, and I just started hearing in my mind's eye kind of Christmas tones and space.
I think we kind of said, let's try and do something for Christmas this year. And we had a few different.
Yeah, and I just started
songs,
thinking of
yeah.
a child, I suppose, missing Santa.
And this wasn't
you
the
know,
most obvious thing
you
I
know,
did.
missing somebody coming home, or somebody missing, not even Santa, but somebody missing a family member coming home. And I was like, oh, this will really touch people's hearts.
And it really resonated.
So that was
It
the thought process
Yeah.
behind it.
And the other thing that struck me about it was that it was very choral. And obviously you
Yeah.
had some of the students, I think, was it from the school
Yeah.
that were
Fiona Watts
involved
was
there as
great
well?
now arranging that core part of it. Yeah,
Fantastic
Totally
work.
added to the
Yeah,
song.
and it's lovely to work with community, like especially when you're in Ballina, especially for the last year, you want to work with people around you and the new generation coming up, and to connect in with the kids that you see all the time, like Mark works in Gortner Abbey, and just to involve more people, it's brilliant, you know.
Yeah, my wife actually works out there as well.
Yeah.
So she told me to keep an eye on this one. He's very bold,
And
apparently.
vice versa.
Yeah. But in terms of going forward, Billow Wood, the brand, and like you've got your own T-shirts. Did you bring a T-shirt for me, Harry?
Yeah, of course.
You did?
In
Okay,
the
thanks
booth, I'll
very
have
much.
to run out
Yeah,
and get
you'll
it.
get that from me after. In terms of the brand, Billow Wood, it's clearly built around the trad base and the background that you all have. Would you have any interest in kind of developing that on to, to bring that kind of rock trad, the horse lips, the planksty, or, is there anything different going on in your heads about what you do next?
I think, well, sorry, do you want to?
No, I think if we were to branch out any direction, it'd be based on our voices more so than rock, I think.
Yeah, really good.
And I think we're getting more experimental, I think, in our songwriting and arrangements as the years go on. Like we were even saying today we're practicing a new song, and in comparison to like how we would have arranged the song before with our harmonies would have been very perfect, following the same thing, whereas now we're kind of, I suppose, have more confidence to
You're
push
letting loose.
boundaries maybe.
Yeah.
Experiment, yeah.
And more of the stuff that we do now, prior to lockdown, like a Billow Wood gig, usually now, depending on venue, obviously, we'll have a drummer along with us.
Yeah.
So that's obviously been a progression as well in terms of the sound, because like most things that we do in terms of the festival slots or the bigger gigs in theatres and stuff, we will have a percussionist with us.
Yes.
Obviously, you get the four of us every now and again as well, like so. But I suppose, as you're talking about progression, that was a natural progression for us to the next level. Like,
And you also then, in the TV show, the brilliant Mayo Day event, that you were the stars of the show, let's be honest about it. You had piano or organ in the background. And,
Piano.
Yeah, great.
And that really filled it out as well,
Really
you know.
did,
Yeah.
That young lad called Connor Diamond is his name.
Very
Yeah.
talented.
He's actually,
Yeah,
Fiona
amazing.
Watts, our old music teacher in Grand Rapids, that's her son.
Our son.
Oh, he's
We'll be hearing about him in a
next
few
level.
years.
You will definitely,
Absolutely,
He's heading off to college now to study music, so.
But isn't it brilliant how you can you can lean on, you can find a different artist or a musician to come and do something for you, and
that's
then
a big
you know.
aspect of being a musician as well. Is
Yeah,
like it's not what you know, it's who you know. Is a massive thing, because like a lot of stuff that we would have got through the years, like in terms of like opportunities, would have come from either being in the right place at the right time or knowing someone who knew someone.
Yeah. It's word of mouth, and it's your network. Like the guy that plays drums with us now, his name is Andy Dempsey. I was in college with Andy.
Yeah.
In choir, and then it was he's a singer like as well, and then it was just through getting to know him, and I was like, would you have any interest in playing drums with us? And he was delighted, like he did Dublin Folk Festival with us and stuff. So it's all about networking. Like that was, we didn't meet each other in an environment like we are looking for a drummer. It's just met him through that. And that's how you meet him, like, you know.
yeah. No, I just love the spontaneity of the work that you do. Obviously, we did that track there at the end, the Codeline song, All I Want, and I've never sung that song with anybody else. You know, I've just done it in one-man gigs, you know, the old pub show.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was something I always just wanted to test myself
Try
on.
out, yeah.
And I was kind of shaken, to be honest with you, when I got it behind the microphone. And
Flying.
what are we doing here?
No bother to you.
But it was, yeah, that was a real pleasure for me, so thanks very much.
Yeah,
Not a
thanks
bother.
yourself.
It's great to do
Thanks
it.
yourself.
All I want is nothing more, to see you knocking at my door. If I could see your face once more, I could die a happy man, I'm sure. You brought out the best in me. Part of me I've never seen. You took my soul and you wiped it clean. Our love was made from movie screens. And if you love me, why'd you leave me? Take my body, take my body. All I want is, and all I need is to find somebody, to find somebody. When you said your last goodbye, door. If I could see your face once more, I could die a happy man, I'm sure. If you love me, why'd you leave me? Take my body, take my body. All I want is, and all I need is to find somebody. Find somebody. Come on, let's rock it out now. If you love me, why'd you leave me?
Take my body, take my body. And all
All I want is, and all I need is to find somebody, to find somebody. All I want is nothing more.
The video that you launched a couple of weeks ago on the Irish Music Magazine webpage, was that what it was?
Yeah.
That was for Black River, was it?
Black River, yeah. And I wouldn't be the most artsy one, so I'll pass over the meaning of this video to
Yeah.
somebody else, if that's...
So the meaning of the video. So usually when you have a song concept, your video concept doesn't necessarily have to match what your song is about. It can be a bit different.
Yeah.
So when we had an instrumental, we were like, okay, we need to come up with something that's going to captivate the watcher, the
Yeah.
viewer. For us, like a lot of people are following us because it's a unique 4-part harmony. So this was our first time bringing out an instrumental, and we're kind of conscious of trying to make sure that these people will engage with the video. And I suppose just the last year as well, it's kind of been a reflection video for us because we had no music to play. Like the music industry was just thrown all together for the last like 12, 13 months. So we wanted to try and reflect that in the video. And so the first part was like nostalgia, looking back at when everything was good and we had our gigs. The middle part then, Ciara came up with an idea to have like floating instruments. So you may have seen a picture of Harry dressed in a green
No,
suit. That looked like a
I
little
didn't
frog.
see the jumpsuit or the
Oh
green
no,
suit,
we'll have to send it on to you.
But if you,
Looks like a little frog.
Yeah, it's to
Yeah.
show like the music, the people behind the music have become invisible currently with COVID.
Yeah.
So it's that invisibility concept that the music is still there, but
Yeah.
people aren't seeing it.
yeah, I
So
remember the shot of the guitar nearly playing itself.
Yeah,
Was it
that's,
kind of
that was,
flashing
that
in?
was the view,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the idea, yeah.
And
Very
then our last
clever.
track then was hopefully in the future everything's going to come back, so we ended up multiplying ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Going
just the
buck
hopes
wild
for the
altogether.
future.
And there was two or three Harrys, which nobody really needs in their lives.
Yeah.
So
Nobody needs a job.
thank God it was
You'd
only
have a
video.
job if there was 3 Harrys. You'd be out of a job.
Exactly. So Mark taught you, is that right?
He did. I'm his best ever student. He taught me guitar. Now I'm
Right.
better than him.
Yeah. How does that feel?
It feels good.
Yeah.
Makes me feel good. Don't know how it makes Mark feel.
I'd be good to know that
Have to
Harry's a
ask him.
compulsive liar, so
Have to ask him.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I went to Mark for guitar lessons back in the day.
Yeah, because I remember your first gig. I think.
My first debut of the guitar in public,
Yeah, we were in the
Yes.
Tower Bar in Clalla. You were
We
about
were.
17 years of age.
just before I went to Africa that time.
Yeah, and I had to tell you to hold it the other way around.
So it was all you, Brendan.
Yeah.
You're why I'm here today.
Well, you can thank your dad, John, for that now, because he
remember
asked me
that.
to go in and sit in with you that
I
night.
remember that, yeah.
But that was a massive thing for a 17-year-old to do, to go off to Africa like that.
Yeah, Mark was along with me that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was
Yeah.
going first, and then Mark
I jumped on Harry's bandwagon.
You copied him.
So then, yeah,
Well, it was
100%,
Peter.
yeah.
Peter was over there in Uganda,
Yeah.
and then I was in TY at the time, and he'd asked would I have interest coming over as a project. And sure, I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I was lucky now. Mark and Elma Ford came along, because I was going to go by myself, but in hindsight, it was good that I had some very elder statesmen to come along.
Yeah. You need that.
So I was only a young fella, but no, amazing experience. I'm sure.
I was only a young fella too.
Great.
I actually had the same advantage.
You're still older than I am now, I'd say.
Yeah.
So
Well-
you see, Peter has been a big inspiration for us. He
Yeah.
keeps
Yeah.
popping up as a mentor and
Yeah.
guide
Yeah.
throughout our lives all the time.
A pure lunatic, Peter.
Yeah.
He'll hear this
Great.
now.
Yeah, but sure you can hear it. You're a lunatic.
We get it.
Everybody
we
can
get
see
the
this,
lunacy
yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a good thing. I honestly think that the world needs a bit of madness and a bit of
Yeah.
bad,
Totally
you know,
Yeah.
to have the crack.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that I had the elder statesman with me when I started as well, with Bridget's dad, Jimmy.
I don't know how
Yes.
you feel
Oh,
about
And
stop.
we can't do this interview without mentioning the great Jimmy O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, we have stories to tell and songs to sing, but like Jimmy, I know was a massive influence on your music and your mum
he
as well,
was. And
Maureen.
even
You know,
myself and Harry, he
Yeah.
used to
ship us around
ship
the
us
place.
around.
Yeah.
Literally himself, Martin Conlon, ourselves and the Conlons were thrown into the back of a car and brought to sessions nearly every
Random.
weekend. And random
Yeah.
Ballisadair one day.
Like a pub, you walked into a pub in Ballisadair and there was bucks throwing darts at a dartboard.
Yeah, and actually,
In the dark, and they were like, "What are you doing here?"
that, we
Jimmy
went-
was like, "We're here to play a few tunes."
Yeah.
So we're just like, "All right."
Well, we actually, the time we went into Ballisadair, we had no idea at the time.
Oh,
like, we were
Christ.
still in school, and
lesson.
I suppose still learning about artists in the whatever trad industry, I suppose. And this man came over. We were playing. He came over and started playing the guitar, and we all kind of looked at him. We're like, "This man is amazing." Turned out it was John Doyle,
all right.
who was like a
Yeah.
phenomenal guitar
We
player.
were playing.
Um,
I'd only started playing the guitar. Breed was singing. I was playing William and Davy.
Okay.
You know
yeah.
who sings that song?
Kate Rusby.
Kate Rusby. So he was playing, and then I was playing, and then gave him a little nod to the instrumental. So at like 17, I gave him a little nod. We didn't know who he was. And he was telling us afterwards. He's like, "Oh, you did a great job of that song. I actually played guitar on that for Kate Rusby on the album."
He did the album.
Oh, stop. And we were
Well, Harry was telling him when to cut in here.
Oh,
like,
yeah, gave him a little nod. Like, I knew about 3 chords. But,
Yeah.
that was class, you know. But that was all Jimmy, like, you know,
Yeah.
shipping us off. So yeah, a big
Yeah.
influence.
And I know Mark and Kira had a similar influence on
Yep.
Martin as well, do
Yeah.
you know. So we're very grateful
yeah,
to,
sorry. I thought you meant we met
to-
someone.
you know, parents and for dragging us to, bringing us everywhere when we were younger. So they've had a huge impact on what we're doing now as well.
Yeah, and I know everybody is very proud of you, everybody associated with you and your friends as well. The last song tonight, Pushing and Shoving, because I mean it is literally the 4 of you going for it, like in that song. I absolutely love it.
Oh, Bopper, yeah.
Yeah, who wrote that one?
Marcus.
Yeah, and I don't remember the process. I can't remember how long that was on.
That's when you went through
played
that
it for
phase.
years.
Remember you went through that phase?
Face. Was that
Do you know that growing up phase? It took about 12 years.
was that on an EP or was that before?
Mark
that?
has a great knack of being able to write. If you're looking for a song, no, this is actually a compliment. So like, if you're looking, it's like if you're filling things, it's like, I'd like to write a song like that's a real good bopper.
Yeah.
And he'll come back and he'll just say, "I wrote this."
There you go.
And it's like, there you go.
I
Whereas
thought
like,
what you were
as
gonna
Kira was
say.
saying, like
Yeah.
she's more methodical and emotion comes into it. Mark can just go away and write something that might have some kind of meaning, but
Yeah.
it's more the
But it's like the leaving cert. You cram it all in, and then it's just gone out of your
Yeah,
head.
I was about to say, like, Mark is great for writing songs, but he never remembers his own
Never
lyrics.
remember. Or keys, or Anthony, you'd be on stage, and Harry's counting in, and I was counting like, and what key are we
You
in?
would
Yeah,
know
and
the
then-
road half.
Or
And
what's
then,
the first line?
and then I'd be trying to do my own bits, like, and trying to see what because I'd be lifting up the harp, put down, and then he'd be pure tick if I wouldn't tell him the words to the song. And
You
he's like,
know you're panicking.
how
You know
am I
you know the line's coming, and you're like, hopefully my brain will just take the wheel, and off we go. But like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Well, the thing is, as Breach knows, she's seen me often enough, when I forget a lyric, I just make something up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
plug it in
No,
and
that's a
hope
skill.
nobody
that's a
got
skill. Yeah. That's a definitely a skill.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
can't
don't know.
improv.
It's but there's nothing to beat playing live, is there?
No.
No.
To
Just
an
the
audience.
energy
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
feel at the
I
time
think
is
for Harry as well,
amazing, yeah.
that was your like
That's
throughout
the
the year. Everyone was on a downer,
the
but your
best
thing was
hangover
like
cure.
wanting to get
I
back.
was like, I have no,
Yeah,
like everything else I see as a means to playing to an audience.
understand. Yeah.
Everything else, recording, practicing, there's no point if you're not.
Your life is working
Like that's
towards your,
for me
your
personally.
gig.
I don't like the other sides of it, you know. But I think that's good. Like everybody has a different
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not, if we were all the same, we'd be first born.
Whereas I love the creative process of getting to that, like that on the other side of things, you know,
Yeah.
so, and the recording side of things.
So what you're saying is you're a lot more artistic than Harry, probably.
I
Harry's a
agree
bit of a
with
show
that,
off.
yeah.
Well,
No.
we all have
I'm
different
better.
strengths.
I'm better crack.
No, I'm saying. yeah. I'm not putting words in your mouth. Don't fall over now.
Yeah,
Don't
Kieran's
fall
more
over.
creative, but I'm better crack.
I know which one I'll take, Brendan.
So look, we're very grateful for the time that you've
Oh,
taken
Thanks
today.
for having
It
us.
was a
Thank
big
you.
thing.
Great to get out
Thank
to play
set
some
up.
music. So
And hopefully, when people see this this set, it'll cue them up for your next concert.
hopefully.
We're looking forward
Certainly, I'll be top of the queue. I'll be
Alright,
knocking on your
thanks
dressing room
very
door
much.
looking
Thanks
for that T-shirt, Harry. So
Yeah.
extra
We
large.
just wait here now, Harry, till you
I'll
won't
just
get
go
out.
out. I'll go and see you next week.
So from Ballina Arts Centre, that was Billow Wood.
The view from my room has them pushing and shoving. I stand alone, connecting nothing with nothing. I don't see faces, all shapes are blurred. There's darkness now where you once were.
I left you a message from walls of caves. If I only knew now what words to say. Now and then you could try to sell your soul just to say goodbye.
'Cause I know you're here, there's nothing that I fear, and I know you're there, it's too far for you to care.
View from my room has them pushing and shoving. I stand alone, connecting nothing with nothing. I don't see faces, all shapes are blurred. There's darkness now where you once were.
I left you a message through walls of caves. If I only knew now what words to say. Now and then you could try to sell your soul just to say goodbye.
I know you're here, there's nothing that I fear, and I know you're there, it's too far for you to care. 'Cause I know you're here, there's nothing that I fear, and I know you're there, it's too far for you to care. Cause I know when you're here, there's nothing that I fear, and I know when you're there, it's too far for you to care, and I know when you're here, there's nothing that I fear, and I know when you're there, it's too far for you to care.
View from my room has them pushing and shoving.